Gentlemen, street talk and other stuff. Mike, Maddog, Magnotti, nice to have you here on this last Monday in January. Now, January is almost over. It's one of the most depressing months of the year because it's cold and we're right dead in the middle of winter. Well, that's how I feel about it anyway. But anyway, nice to have you here today. Hope I'm cheering you up a little bit. But got a good show for you today, but just a couple things I want to talk about. You know, I'm going to tell you a cop story. Once when I was back a police officer, I once arrested this burglar, okay? And I had him in my office to interview him, and I said, well, what happened? He said, well, you know, I went into this house, and there was this guy and a woman there, so I tied the woman up, and I held my gun on the man, and I said, hey, look, tell me where all your jewelry and money is. And the guy just started to sob. He pled. He said, look, please, I'll give you anything you want. You could even kill me, but just untie the woman and let her go. And the burglar said to him, well, man, you must really love your wife. He said, well, no, but she's going to be home any minute. And somebody said to me the other day, you know, Mike, I'm really, you know, I kind of admire you. You know, you're getting old and, you know, you're falling apart and you should be retired, but you still do a lot of stuff. What is it that motivates you to get out of bed in the morning? And I said, my bladder. And talking about getting old, well, there were these two gals, you know, and they were talking to each other, and they'd been friends for 30 years, and they had this weekly card game. But one day, one of them looked at the other and said, you know, I'm really sorry, but my memory, he says, I know we've been friends for 30 years, but I forgot your name. Could you please tell me your name? And the other girl looked at her all insulted and paused for a minute and said, how soon do you need to know? Come on, that's a good one. All right, street talk and other stuff. Mike, Maddog, Magnotti. I got a really good guest today. I got a really good show. You stick around. We'll be right back.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Just as the cool mornings and evenings are returning to our valley, Carrier and Alpine Air are offering best-in-class rebates and promotions to keep your home comfortable and safe this winter. Call for your free estimate today. Ask about rebates to $1,650 and low interest, low payment financing. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call 662-6846. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their two new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
I'm Dr. Ron Singleton. See how Ideal Protein can help you.
I started Ideal Protein about 10 months ago. I'm down 123 pounds and a little over 50 inches.
Using Ideal Protein, I've lost 37 pounds in just 10 weeks.
I lost over 52 pounds in 4.5 months on Ideal Protein.
This has been a wonderful journey. The food is great and it's a very easy program to follow.
This medically designed program has repeatable, safe, and effective results. Call us today to schedule your weight loss consultation.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood. It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
Okay, street talk and other stuff. We're back, and I'm very proud to say my guest today is Captain Jim West from the Wenatchee Police Department.
Mike.
Captain, nice to have you.
Thank you.
So, how's things going?
Good.
You know?
Very good. Mm-hmm.
So, Chief Steve Crown is away at what do they call it? The FBI Academy, but they call it the...
That's the FBI National Academy.
Right, okay. So you and Captain Edgar Reinfeld are kind of the El Jefes, right?
Pretty much at this point.
Do you guys battle it out about who gets to
No, we're
be
too
the top
busy.
dog and
We're too
stuff?
busy. He's got his things and I got my things. And
Yeah.
So it's just a busy time.
Okay, so look, this is somebody you should know if you don't. So, Jim, tell us a little bit about yourself. Just family, interest, personal stuff that you wouldn't share with anybody else.
Well, most people do know who I am. I'm Jim West. I'm captain with Wenatchee Police Department. And most people know that I like to travel with my wife, Ruth, who is an attorney here locally, and she's also a city council member with the city of Wenatchee.
She's been here on the show a couple times too.
Yeah,
so, she's always a good guest.
She always likes coming on here because she likes being the center of attention.
Yeah,
so she loves it.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. No, when she's on my show, I'm the center of attention.
Well, no, that's not what she says. So.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's much better looking than I am.
Well, I believe her. That's what she says, so cool. I believe her.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So what else? How long have you been with the Wenatchee PD? And actually, you started with East Wenatchee before that.
Yeah. Total, law enforcement for about 27 years now.
Okay.
Started off in East Wenatchee.
Okay, but you were a reserve for Wenatchee PD before that. Is that correct?
That's true.
If I remember right.
You're going way back in the Wayback Machine now.
I don't remember my name, but I remember that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
That's going way back. But yes, I was a reserve with Wenatchee first.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, and now you're one of two captains.
Yes.
And how do you guys split up your job responsibilities and that type of thing?
Well, there's two categories. There's the operational division, which is where my division is,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the administrative division. That's where Captain Reinfeld had his division.
Okay, so you're kind of in charge of the patrol officers and that type of thing, and
Correct. Yeah.
okay, but you like that, correct?
Oh, yeah.
You'd rather do that than the administrative part?
Oh, absolutely. I love patrol.
Yeah.
Sure. There's nothing better than just driving around in a car and responding and helping people out and stuff. Yeah.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I asked you here today because I wanted to talk about school safety. Matter of fact, I talked with Chief Crown about it. We had some emails back and forth for a while. And this is a big deal for me. I went to a couple school board meetings a while back, one with just the school board itself and then one a public meeting they had, because my concern, a lot of good ideas and that kind of stuff. But as I said to you when we began, what do we do about the kid who's out there right now, who's already got the weapons he's got the intent? Now, we may not get into that right away, but you just went to a conference on school safety. So let's go into that a little bit.
Okay. There's been a lot of discussion, about school safety. The past couple of years. We've had some pretty horrific events that happen nationwide, and it's kind of prompt some pretty positive discussion. And I think the one of the issues that comes up when you review, basically what happened in some of these big events is that, the line of communication between, the main stakeholders that would be involved with a student that's having some kind of issues, and there was just no line of communication back and forth.
Right. And who would those, identify those stakeholders?
The behavioral health professionals, the education professionals, and law enforcement.
Sure.
So we're looking at the North Central Education Services District has put together a threat assessment program that can be established here locally with the school districts, and it originated out of the Salem-Kaiser School District program.
Okay.
And basically what it does is that when there is an indication that a student's going to has an issue or there's a potential issue, they have what's a level 1, and a level 1 assessment basically involves the school resource officer, the teachers, the school counselors, and they take a look at what the issue is, and they can decide at that point if it seems to be more of at risk for the student, then they can do a level 2 assessment, which kind of brings in more of the stakeholders, more of the administration, like myself would be there, along with the school resource officer on the law enforcement end of it. There'd be a lot more involvement with behavioral health individual professionals that would be there, and making sure that the educational professionals are involved, because I think it's important that probably one of the main educational professional that kind of gets left out of the loop sometime is the teacher, and a lot of times the teachers know.
You would think the teacher should be involved.
You would,
right?
You would, but I think a lot of times that they're not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think the crux of the whole thing is that it puts a group of people at the table to figure out a solution, so not one person's making that decision.
Okay.
It's a group decision and a group effort.
So what kind of criteria are you looking for when you're going to relegate a potential student threat to one of these criterias, or one of these levels?
Right.
What's the criteria you're looking at?
I think the main criteria is that when you have any type of direct or indirect threats, like for example, a student that is being threatening to a teacher or a school official.
Okay.
So if that threat is made, what do you do with that threat? And that's put this program in place, helps, instead of just one person saying, okay, I guess that threat really wasn't that much of a threat and they don't do anything and then something bad happens, or somebody goes the other way and says, this is crazy and we can't have this, and they go too extreme when there could have been maybe a different route.
Yeah, because that happens sometimes. I mean, somebody will bring a legitimate concern to people in authority, and the people in authority will not necessarily poo-poo it, but don't want to recognize the potential seriousness of it.
Correct.
So with extra people involved in these decisions, you're going to have another potential viewpoint. Is that what we're looking at?
Right. Like a good example would be like when law enforcement is involved in the line of communication, there's a lot of information that we may know about that student's home living environment,
right,
and maybe their family lack of support, basically, usually. And we're going to have a lot of information that we could provide to this group of the educators and the behavioral health professionals to help, come to some positive resolution to help the student.
Now, who are you looking at from the behavioral health side of it? I mean, who is involved from that, particular area?
Well, definitely the school counselors, school
Okay.
psychologists for sure. Also Catholic Family Charities, the crisis response group of that, and I'm going to give a shout out to them because the last couple of years they have just been excellent.
Yeah. Now, is Shirley Wilbur involved with that? Do you know Shirley?
I don't know.
She's one of the honchos down there. She's a good friend of mine. So
I've maybe met her somewhere along the line,
Yeah,
but
could.
I'm
I'm sure
getting
you
old
did.
just like you, Mike, and I can't remember everybody's names like we used to back in the day. When we were in the street,
Yeah.
we could remember everybody, but now not anymore.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear the Catholic family. That's where I got my start with counseling.
And
so.
they are very very involved with us now.
Good, cool.
They come to our shift change.
Oh,
briefings.
really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we share information, and I
Very
think
good.
that's a big crux of an issue is that there just hasn't been communication along all the lines of people that would be involved in a crisis.
Okay, well, let me ask you something a little off topic. Okay, just
Okay.
curiosity-wise. Remember when we used to have a mental health hold on somebody? We'd go out and pick somebody up, and then we had to call for a county-designated mental health professional. How's communication with those folks? Because they used to tell us, well, bring them to the jail. We'll be there in 2 hours.
Oh.
And I'm going, hey, man, there's 3 guys on patrol here. I can't spare a guy to sit at the jail or the hospital for 2 hours.
It's been a huge improvement.
All right, good.
We
good.
have direct phone numbers right to whoever's on call
Oh, great.
to come respond, and they're there within minutes.
Oh, excellent. That's
so
a huge improvement.
It's night and day.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, that was, we'd call for a mental health professional. Again, I've been retired for 12 years and kind of retired in place for 2 years before that.
I don't recall that.
But I mean, it was crazy. I mean, we'd call for a mental health professional, and they'd say, well, bring them to the hospital or the gym. We'll be there in 2 hours. And
Correct,
you can't.
yeah.
All right.
Or they wouldn't show.
Yeah, that's true, too. That's true, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was the overall theme of the conference? And this was a one-day thing you attended just recently, correct?
Yeah, it was just a one day, for a few hours, just kind of a brief overview of what this threat assessment program is that
Okay.
came out of Salem Kaiser School District.
Okay.
Just kind of give an overview is what it was.
All right, and who was presenting that? Who were the people who called the meeting and said, hey, we need to start getting together on this? And,
North Central Education Services District.
okay, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, they did it, and we had some pretty good involvement. Law enforcement was there representing.
Yeah.
And,
All the agencies?
yeah,
State-
almost.
Okay. State Patrol not there?
State Patrol wasn't there. No, no, they weren't there.
Oh, we love the troopers. We do. But, traffic, that's a different.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different ballgame.
Good.
So no, but the school districts were there, and
Yeah.
the SROs, school resource officers,
Right.
were there.
Now, does each, okay, we're talking about the 2 counties and the 2 cities, East Wenatchee, Douglas County, Wenatchee, and Chelan County. Do each of them have a school resource officer separately?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe Douglas County. Yes, Douglas County does, and I'm not 100% sure on East Wenatchee.
Okay, and who's ours for the Wenatchee PD now?
Officer Jared Reinfeld.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Jared's great.
Yeah,
Good.
he does an excellent job.
He's a great guy. So, and yeah, he's mainly stationed at the high school. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that's because it's so busy at the high school. I mean, you're talking there's we're just shy of 2,000 students there at that school, and he's pretty much there all the time because he has to be.
Yeah, yeah. That was a good guy. He was one of the coaches for my grandson's baseball team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. I know there's so many Reinfeld brothers running around.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch him, interact with a lot of the kids, and he does a really good job with interaction, and I think it's a real positive influence, from the law enforcement end, with kids as they grow up.
Well, he's got kind of a calm, laid down demeanor, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not like me, somebody who just Italian overreaction all the time.
I don't remember you overacting.
He's being kind. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to go there. Street talk and other stuff. Mike Maddog Magnotti. I'm talking with Captain Jim West from the Wenatchee Police Department. We're talking about school safety today. We got more that we're going to get into that you want to stick around for. So we're going to take a break, so you stay with us. We'll be right back.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Dental disease is the #1 illness affecting a pet's health. Bacteria from the mouth gets carried into your pet's blood and can affect the heart, lungs, and kidneys. By age 3, nearly 75% of pets have some form of dental disease. Dr. Shauna Bass and the staff at Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital care about your pets, and good dental care can help your pet live a long and happy life. Learn how to clean your pet's teeth or see what Paws and Claws can do to keep your pet smiling by calling 888-PAWS or see us on the corner of 4th and Island, East Wenatchee.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started, and why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life Channel.
When our customers come to senior insurance, again, we're thinking more about the whole experience, and that's why I took a lot of time to design a space like this where we teach people about Medicare. We don't sell insurance, we teach you how to buy insurance, because buying is something you do, and I want folks to be a part of this. So as they're heading out, I hope they feel like they've been educated, they're now in a suitable fit, and I hope they also had a good laugh and a good time.
Okay, we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. But hey, I warned Captain West before he came on that I was going to bring something up on this, and he's free to disagree with me or agree or whatever. But I've been to a couple school board meetings. I went to one just for the school board and one the public one they had. And I said, all these other plans, all these other things are great. Okay, looking at all the diverse issues that are involved with the potential school shooting and that type of thing. But what are you going to do about the kid who's out there now who already has the weapons, has the intent, okay? And I said that we need to do what's necessary to put up armed guards and metal detectors and limit access to the schools, okay? Because that is not going to solve every problem. There is no completely comprehensive solution. Would you agree?
Oh, I totally agree.
Okay, but your thoughts on my idea, okay?
Well, I think that's definitely a step that you must take. I mean, you got to protect, your environment. And right now, with open campus type of philosophy, that makes it a soft target for somebody that wants to come in there and hurt somebody. We're just making it easier for them to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, definitely we need to limit access points. You need to control that access point. And I agree. We need to have people that are out there, watching and protecting, the kids that are inside the school. And I don't want to say it has to be completely hardened like a prison or anything, but it's got to certainly be a little bit harder than it is now.
Yeah, and I mentioned Captain West before that a good friend of mine lives in New York City, and he said the high schools there all have armed guards and metal detectors, and he said there's never been a shooting in the high schools back in New York City. Now, I'm taking his word for it, okay, but I've never heard of one, anything like that.
Well, I would certainly think if somebody had the idea, I'm going to go to this school and I'm going to go shoot somebody, if they knew already that there was metal detectors and an armed guard there, that might just prevent them from going.
And what bugs me about people's objections to this, I mean, I know there's going to be objections, but be reasonable. The one guy stood up and said, well, if kids have to go through a metal detector, they're going to possibly have PTSD. I mean, PTSD is a nasty diagnosis with specific triggers, okay? Not going through a metal detector. I mean, for heaven's sakes, and this whole idea that, you can't battle guns with another gun. Okay, again, I understand where they're coming from. But, come on. I mean, if you have an argument, have the argument make sense, for heaven's sakes. So
I agree with you. I mean, we have to do everything we can to make it difficult for somebody to get in there and cause that kind of harm.
Right. And they asked me, well, they didn't ask me, but I talked about the financial aspect of it. And I said, I know you're going to say that. Where's the money going to come from? And I said, look, if my wife suddenly was dying of cancer, okay, money would not be, we would beggar ourselves to do what was necessary to prevent the issue. And I said, and the school district has to look at that. I mean, if you really, it's not a matter of money, it's a matter of will. All right, thank you for letting me, overreact.
No problem.
All right. Now, the issue that's been around for a while with this school district, that's rifle in the safe at the high school. Yes. Tell us what you know about that, because that just sounded crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, the original concept was that, if we did have an active shooter situation occur at the high school, it would have been a complete detriment for our school resource officer to try to get a rifle to combat another assault rifle.
Sure, exactly.
I mean, because you know this too, that if you just have a handgun and you got a suspect that's got an assault rifle, the officer's going to most likely lose.
Yeah, you were at a huge disadvantage.
That's not good for anybody. So the concept was, we need to make sure that officer has the ability to get that rifle sooner than later, not trying to run from the school to the parking lot to his car to go retrieve one. So that's how the concept began. Okay, let's put it into a secure safe that's at the school, that the school resource officer is the only one that has access to it.
And someone on the school board objected to this and had the rifle removed. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And how did they get it out? I mean, if only the school resource officer has access to it, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one wondering that.
Yeah, I don't know this specifically, but I'm just going to guess that Officer Reinfeld had to go retrieve it, because I know he eventually had it back at the station. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it is back at the school now.
Yes, we've got it back in the school. It's in a secure location that's accessible by the school resource officer.
Okay, now I want to assure people, I know a lot of people don't like guns, and I understand that, okay, I really do. But guns do not indiscriminately, on their own, leave lock safes and begin shooting people all by themselves. It doesn't happen.
No.
Okay?
No.
All right. Yeah. So, okay. What do you feel needs to be said? If you were going to talk to students and parents and that type of thing, because I know a lot of people are concerned about this, you personally and as a representative of the police department, the law enforcement agency for this community, what do you think needs to be said to folks here?
Well, I think there's something to be said for the verbiage. You see something, say something. I think a lot of times people think, okay, well, I read this or I saw this on a post, maybe it's a threat, maybe it's a problem, and then I don't want to bother anybody to talk about it or tell anybody that. And I think that's a missing piece of trying to prevent, some type of tragedy happening. And, if you see something and if it alarms you enough to where, it could be something, It probably is, and you need to say something.
Okay, and that's even if they're familiar with a particular individual that they have concerns about.
Absolutely.
They can ask and talk about
you
that
know,
too.
you don't know, what that person may or may not be capable of doing.
All right, now one other thing I want you to add right before we go to our break. Now, you said there was one common denominator for these kids who are responsible for these school shootings, and that was...
Yeah. For looking at the statistics, they found that when it's a student that goes back to a school and causes a shooting, they found that it's usually somebody that is on suspension or just coming back in from suspension.
Interesting, and that's something I didn't know, and I'm sure many people didn't either.
No.
Okay, look, we're going to take a quick break, then we're going to come by. We're going to say thanks to Captain West. He's got one last thing he wants to make kind of a plea for. So, hey, stick around. Street Talk and other stuff. We'll be right back.
Are you suffering with joint pain? Need orthopedic care sooner than later? For an orthopedic evaluation, there's no reason to wait weeks or months. You can get the help you need now from the experts at Lake Chelan Community Hospital, led by John Hopkins-trained Dr. Joshua Shohowski. Their orthopedic team specializes in sports medicine, knees, shoulders, and general orthopedics. When considering joint replacement, you should know all your options. Call or visit Lake Chelan Community Hospital today.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
No matter what the season is, the weather is always fine at Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come explore the stores today. Wenatchee Valley Mall in East Wenatchee and online at WenatcheeValleyMall.com.
Okay, we're back. All right, Captain West, what do we need right now?
One of the things that we would really like to see, for the benefit of the community and for the school is that we need to add at least one more, if not two more SRO, school resource officers. Yeah. I mean, right now we have one who's covering 14 schools. Yeah. And, one major high school that, is close to 2,000 students, and that's pretty much primarily where his time is spent because he has to be there. He can't get to the other schools. In comparison, Moses Lake Police Department, they have 4 school resource officers.
Okay, and their population, are they greater?
They're less than
we are, yeah, I thought
believe.
They were, so.
So our SRO, Officer Reinfeld, he's trying to get to 14 schools on his own.
Well, he's not going to do it.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No. I found out one of the things on that crisis assessment training overview that I went to, one of the statistics from Salem Kaiser School District has been doing that assessment program for a while.
Yeah.
They found that the majority of their assessments that are set to go like assessment, the second assessment stage, are occurring at the elementary schools.
Interesting. Okay, well, folks, if the opportunity to vote on something to increase the number of school resource officers comes up, give it some thought. But Captain Jim, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate you being here. Always
Absolutely.
nice to have one of you guys here. Okay, Street Talk and other stuff. Mike Maddog, Magnotti, appreciate you being here today. We will be back next week. My guest is going to be Jamie Dunnigan. Now, he's been on here before. We've got another Hot Summer Night show coming up. Auditions will be next week. You'll know more about that. But hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.